What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Want to talk about this Republican debate that we watched last night. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm outside. It's freaking hot, but I'm in the shade. We got some roofers over there putting the roof on, so hopefully it's not too loud. But wanted to jump on and talk about this debate. Did you guys watch? What'd you think? Did you watch the debate, or did you watch Trump with Tucker Carlson on Twitter, where they came out and did their interview 5 minutes before the debate started? So I didn't watch that, but let me know what you thought of that interview, Trump and Tucker Carlson, if you watched that. But I did, along with my wife, watch the full 2 hours of the debate. So I want to just break it down, give you my thoughts. Please comment, like, subscribe. We're going to turn this channel into more news, current events, and all that moving forward. So here's my take, and I want to hear yours as well. So first of all, I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was pretty interesting and substantive. I think whenever you don't have Donald Trump out there, look, Donald Trump is just going to own any stage he's on, and he's going to dictate the pace and the tempo of whatever happens. So not having Trump out there, I do think it was less of a sideshow or kind of a big spectacle when you don't have Trump out there. But a lot of interesting things. First of all, I like the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy just took on the entire stage. Basically, early on, he took on everybody. And he's a young guy. I think he's about 37, created these billion-dollar companies, super smart, probably a genius, honestly. He's not a politician, but I think he's very, very smart. He knows what to say in different settings. And I think, look, he was kind of Trump's attack dog up there, where he was the one guy that was going to defend Trump no matter what, and he kind of took on everybody else, which I appreciated. So if you say who won the debate, to me, so I think winning the debate is different than who I think performed the best. I think for who won the debate, it could only be either Vivek Ramaswamy or Ron DeSantis. I think those two guys, who are both, second and third in the polls, also behind Donald Trump, to me, they commanded the stage the most. Everybody going after Ramaswamy, you have to give him credit. I think that Ron DeSantis had a lot of good substantive arguments, making his case to the American people. He didn't have a great opening. I think Ron DeSantis is also kind of awkward. I think he's much better as somebody in his role governing than he is running for office. And I think that speaks to, you look, first of all, 2018, his gubernatorial race in Florida, he barely won it. But then look, people really loved his COVID policies, and so he wins Florida 4 years later by 19 points, whatever it was. So people obviously love what he's doing in the state of Florida. So I actually think he would be a good president, but he's not the greatest campaigner, especially in this Trump era. That's where also, I don't even know if anybody could really knock Trump off the top of the polls in the GOP right now. I just think it's Trump's world. Everybody's living in it. And until he's no longer running, it's not really a fair shot for a guy like, I don't want to say fair, but there's just no chance you're going to beat Trump, whether it's DeSantis or Vivek Ramaswamy, whoever it is. Like right now, it's Trump's world. You're living in it. I mean, look at it. Look. Here I'm doing this video here, 4 minutes in, I'm talking more about Trump than I am the candidates, and Trump wasn't even on the stage. So I think Ron DeSantis performed well in the debate. I think he got better as the debate went on. I think Ramaswamy was the guy you focused on because he took on just the whole field there. I thought Mike Pence had a couple moments. Now, I'm not a fan of Mike Pence necessarily, but he had a couple moments. I think Christie is a really good debater. Now, with all these guys and gals, I don't think any of them have a chance of winning, but I think Christie's a good debater. Now, if you talk about the governor of one of the Dakotas there on the end, I thought he was a very reasonable person, seemed like a nice guy. I looked him up, very successful businessman and a very popular governor up there in one of the Dakotas. Is it North Dakota? I should know that. I know Christie Nome is the governor of the other Dakota. See, it just shows you what I'm talking about for my lack of knowledge. But anyway, he was a reasonable guy. I liked him, but he has no chance of winning. Let's be real. Asa Hutchinson on the other end of the stage, on the left side, former governor of Arkansas. Seems like a reasonable guy, but again, no chance of winning. So they were fine, but I'm looking forward more to when these debates, hopefully Trump jumps in and some of these other guys kind of move out so we can hear more from the bigger names. So also, I thought Nikki Haley did fantastic in the debate. Now, let me just go ahead and say, though, I think most people know me, if you've heard me on the radio, I am a Democrat. So this is obviously a Republican debate. I think that Nikki Haley's messaging and the things she talked about with foreign policy, with abortion rights, I mean, she talked about Ukraine a lot. I thought what she said sounded like a great message for a general election debate. So me, as a Democrat, I thought she did the best. But to me, she was speaking more my language. And so I think what she said, a lot of her policy points and whatnot, would basically jive with about 60% of the country. And some of the things I'm talking about with Ukraine, with abortion rights, but that doesn't play as well in a GOP primary. So I understand if I said, hey, Nikki Haley was the most impressive to me, I think she won the debate, I totally understand why, and I think I'm a moderate Democrat. Like, I think Nikki Haley, what she said out there, would be very presidential, but it probably doesn't play well in a GOP primary, especially in the Trump era. And honestly, she sounded like a Democrat. You know, what she said early, where she was blaming not just the Biden administration, but the Trump administration for spending. And then you probably saw that Joe Biden turned that little rant into an ad on Twitter. So she's saying something out there that is benefiting the Democrats, which obviously did not play well in a GOP primary debate. But again, for myself as a Democrat, I thought what she said, big picture, a lot of people in this country agreed. Again, if we're talking 60% of the country, I think a lot of people agreed with her stances. So, but I understand Republicans aren't going to think that she won the debate. And this is a debate for GOP voters. So I think, look, Christie was the one guy that just 100% went after Donald Trump. Christie has no chance of winning, but I respect that he's gonna speak his mind. Now, he didn't do it when he was basically helping Trump out, back in the day and kind of being one of his surrogates. But look, now he's sticking to his guns, at least with going against Trump now. He's not going to win. He has no chance, but he's still interesting in the debate because he brings that dichotomy where he's going to challenge everything of the Trump administration. Pence tried to, I thought, align himself with the positivity of, as he called it, the Trump-Pence administration, but get away from some of the negatives of Trump. And that's where, look, I love the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy went up there and said that all these folks are bought and paid for. I mean, he went after, how many people were on stage? Was it 8? I think it was 8. He went after everybody else, all of these career-type politicians. Tim Scott is another guy who I think is very, very reasonable. All these guys and Nikki Haley all seemed pretty reasonable to me, which is why it's going to be interesting if Trump jumps on the stage with them, because everything goes out the window when Trump's on stage, because he's such a celebrity that it does become sometimes less about the issues when Trump's on a debate stage and more about the sound bites and the nicknames and all that. I have to say I kind of miss that a little bit. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing for democracy, but for an entertaining debate, Trump, let's be real, Trump makes it a lot more interesting. But I do think for the first one, I think it was smart for Trump not to go there. Let, as he called it, the JV team kind of do their thing. Let them sort out a little bit. Let some of these guys, like a Vivek or a Tim Scott or a Ron DeSantis, kind of be able to own the stage more for this debate. And if Trump jumps in the debates coming up here in September, Trump's going to own the stage. So it gave everybody a good opportunity to kind of see some of these other candidates. But to me, I think for the next debate, this governor of one of the Dakotas, nice guy, but let's move on from him. He has no chance. Asa Hutchinson, let's move on from him. No chance. And if you kind of replace those two, you threw Trump in the fold, I think we'd have a pretty entertaining debate. So what do you guys think? Who do you think won? To me, again, I think Nikki Haley had the best debate for the country. And I'm talking in a general election. But I understand GOP voters aren't going to agree with that. So to me, it comes down to either DeSantis or Vivek that won the debate. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think the fact that Vivek was the focus of so many arrows from everybody else there. But I think just on policy, I think DeSantis did the best last night. But I can understand why people think that Vivek won the debate, because a lot of the big moments and a lot of the sound bites, him going after people, again, he was the attack dog. So I understand why people think Vivek won the debate. And to me, it's kind of a toss-up. I actually like Vivek more than Ron DeSantis, but I think Ron DeSantis would be a good president. I just don't think he's as good running a campaign as he is actually governing. So this video be pretty quick. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And also, when I say this, you got to remember. So I'm not a Trump guy, and the reason for that is I believe Trump tried to overturn the election. I actually think Trump was a very good president. I didn't like him at first when he was campaigning, but I think Trump did a lot of good things as president. And I think if he doesn't try to do January 6th and overturn the election, I think he's far and away going to be the president in 2024. However, when we're looking at this just from a democracy standpoint, and again, it's not just me, I think polling and I think the election results in 2022 speak to this, a lot of people are not going to vote for Donald Trump because they believe he tried to overturn the election in 2020. So even though I think Donald Trump was a good president and did a lot of great things, in my opinion, he disqualified himself with trying to overturn the election. And I think a lot of people in this country agree with that. But look, Donald Trump, I think, is going to be the nominee. And I'm not going to say that Donald Trump can't beat Joe Biden, because clearly Joe Biden has also deteriorated, especially mentally. Look, he just has. I mean, he's not sharp. Let's be real. And I don't remember this happening when he was the vice president under Obama. Even when he was campaigning, he didn't have these types of senior moments that we're seeing now. So listen, I still think you can disagree with me. I think Joe Biden would beat Donald Trump in a general election, and the only reason I say that is because of January 6th. And I also think the Democrats are going to get a huge boost from this Roe v. Wade thing. I still think that's a huge issue that again, the country favors the Democrats' stance on that more than Republicans, which is why I thought Nikki Haley did a great job of framing that in a very humanizing way. Of that type of message, I think, appeals to 60% of the country. It doesn't appeal to 30% of the country. So I don't know. There you go. But again, it would not surprise me if Trump still beat Joe Biden, because Joe Biden, man, he's too old to be president. He just is. And even though Donald Trump is 4 years younger, whatever it is, he is much more vibrant and energetic than Joe Biden. So we'll see. But I just want to give you my thoughts, give you a little background of why I think the way I do. I thought Nikki Haley did great, but I understand in a GOP primary, that's not, I'm not the audience she's going for. And I thought Vivek and Ron DeSantis were the two guys that really kind of, if I'm a GOP voter, I'm looking at those two. But look, neither of these guys have a chance to beat Donald Trump. So we'll see. And I hope Trump participates in the next debate. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, drop your comments. And have a great weekend coming up. It's only Thursday. It's hot as hell. I'm in the shade. I guess St. Louis, it's going to be nicer on Saturday. But whoo, doggy. It's been super hot the last couple of days. All right. Peace out.